December 3rd marks 1 week since a devastating fire started at the Wang Fuk Court housing estate in TaiPo, the deadliest blaze Hong Kong has seen in more than 70 years. What began as a renovation site wrapped in green netting became a towering inferno that spread across 7 residential blocks in minutes. At the time of this recording, the confirmed death toll has risen to 159 people. Around 140 have been identified. And while search teams have completed sweeps of all 7 burned towers, 19 individuals remain unidentified or missing. In a tragedy of this scale, information doesn't settle, it keeps evolving, and every update reveals more about the failures, the bravery, and the human cost hidden inside those towers. Let's begin with what has changed in the past 7 days. Wang Chi House, the only tower untouched by flames, reopened briefly this week. Not for residents to return home, but for them to collect what's left of their lives. Authorities allowed a one-time, 90-minute escorted retrieval of personal belongings. Police, civil servants, and social workers walked alongside residents as they entered. Transportation was arranged to bring people from temporary shelters back to the estate. It was a controlled operation because the message was clear. The surrounding structures are unstable, debris still falls, staircases are weakened. Toxic smoke lingers in the walls. Some residents left carrying only a single suitcase. Others walked out empty-handed, unable to face the sight of home. In the burned towers, disaster victim identification teams moved floor by floor, stairwell by stairwell, rooftop by rooftop. What they found was devastating. Victims collapsed in stairwells, residents who reached the rooftops but couldn't outrun the smoke, bodies clustered near doors, likely trying to reach safety. The fire created dead ends everywhere, foam-sealed windows, collapsed corridors, smoke-filled staircases. One survivor said it best: escape was measured in seconds. If you hesitated, you died. The scale of desperation became painfully clear. As stories emerge from survivors and families, individual acts of bravery have come to define this tragedy. A 39-year-old Indonesian domestic worker, Arawati, made a final video call to her husband. She told him she couldn't breathe, and she asked for forgiveness. She died holding her employer's baby, protecting the child with her final breath. The baby survived. Another woman on the 17th floor received an evacuation alert. Instead of fleeing, she knocked on every door on her floor to warn neighbors. Because she stayed behind to save others, she missed her escape window. Her family said she exchanged her life for 4 people and a dog. And then there is firefighter Ho Wai Ho, who died in the line of duty. Outside Sha Tin Fire Station, thousands gathered. Flowers, handwritten notes, paper cranes piled up at the memorial table. Even on-duty firefighters placed bouquets for their fallen colleague. These are the names Hong Kong will remember long after the investigation ends. While the fire raged, Hong Kongers mobilized. Volunteers set up distribution centers near train stations and shelters. They delivered food, bedding, clothing, toiletries, medicine. Some offered free hot meals. Others provided charging stations for phones and power banks. People coordinated missing persons lists, translated updates, and helped families navigate the chaos. Hong Kongers have been tested again and again, and once again, they showed what solidarity looks like. New information this week paints an increasingly grim picture of systemic failure. 1. Scaffolding netting did not meet fire safety standards. Authorities confirmed that the protective mesh used during renovations was non-compliant and accelerated the fire. 2. Fire alarm failures were catastrophic. 6 individuals have been arrested for the malfunction of all 8 towers' alarm systems. Alarms either did not activate or activated too late. 3. Oversight of renovation materials is now under criminal investigation. Multiple arrests have been made within the renovation company and consulting firm. 4. The entire city must now remove flammable scaffolding mesh. About 300 buildings have been ordered to strip their mesh within 3 days. 5. A judge-led inquiry has been announced. Hong Kong's chief executive confirmed a full investigation into the cause of the blaze, renovation oversight, regulatory failures, and why flammable materials were ever allowed in the first place. Public pressure is growing. People want truth, not spin. The government has now rolled out one of the most extensive relief efforts Hong Kong has ever seen. For residents who escaped with nothing, officials began by giving families immediate cash support so they could buy essentials and stabilize their lives. Temporary housing was arranged almost overnight. Not just a handful of rooms, but thousands of hotel beds and transitional flats across the city. More than 2,000 people have already been moved into safe accommodation, with more placements happening every day. For the families who lost loved ones, the government is offering compensation to help them through the weeks ahead, along with full support for funeral arrangements. And because this tragedy claimed the lives of many migrant domestic workers, women who cared for children, cooked meals, and kept households running, Hong Kong has announced an additional package specifically for their families. Their relatives will receive substantial financial assistance, and survivors who manage to make it out alive are also being supported with emergency funds and basic necessities. The message behind all of this is clear. No one affected by this fire is being left alone. By now, it's clear this wasn't fate. This wasn't unpredictable, and it definitely wasn't unavoidable. This was the result of failed inspections, unsafe renovation practices, malfunctioning alarms, flammable materials, systemic vulnerabilities in public housing. And for many families, those failures turned into funerals. If you're watching from Hong Kong or know someone who was affected, a neighbor, a friend, a rescuer, share their story in the comments. As of today, the search is almost complete, the mourning continues, and Hong Kong is demanding accountability. A judge-led inquiry will bring evidence to the surface. But the bigger question remains: how many buildings in this city are still wrapped in the same green netting? Until that answer is clear, the danger remains. 1 week has passed, but for thousands of people, the fire hasn't ended. It lives in trauma, displacement, unanswered questions, and grief. If you want responsible, fact-based analysis about Hong Kong, Asia, and urban safety, subscribe and join the discussion below. Your comments help shape future videos.